Welcome to my channel Mintage Mysteries, where every coin has a hidden story. If you love discovering hidden treasures and uncovering coin secrets, you're in the right place. We're on a quest to solve the puzzles behind the world's most fascinating coins. From rare errors to legendary rarities, let's dive into the mysteries of numismatics. The 1971 Jefferson Nickel is a coin that holds historical significance as part of a long-standing tradition of American coinage. This nickel, featuring Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, on the obverse, continued to be an important part of U.S. currency by 1971. The coin's history, composition, and design make it a notable example of American numismatics. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938 as a replacement for the Buffalo nickel. The U.S. Mint aimed to honor the legacy of Thomas Jefferson, a key figure in U.S. history, especially for his role in the creation of the Declaration of Independence and his leadership during the early years of the nation. The decision to feature Jefferson on the coin reflected his central place in American history. By 1971, the Jefferson nickel had been in circulation for several decades, and the coin had become a staple in everyday transactions. On the obverse of the 1971 Jefferson nickel, the coin prominently displays a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, designed by engraver Felix Schlag. The portrait features Jefferson facing left, captured in a dignified, calm expression. This design, which was first introduced in 1938, remained unchanged through the years, becoming one of the most recognizable coin portraits in U.S. history. The word Liberty is inscribed above Jefferson's image, and to the right of the portrait is the year 1971, marking the coin's minting year. Additionally, the phrase, "In God We Trust," is placed above the portrait. Coins minted in Denver or San Francisco feature a mint mark to the right of the date, while those from Philadelphia typically lack a mint mark. On the reverse side of the coin, Monticello, the home of Thomas Jefferson located in Virginia, is depicted. Monticello is shown as a symbol of Jefferson's architectural achievements and philosophical contributions to the country. Above the image of Monticello is the inscription Monticello, while the denomination 5 cents appears below it. Beneath the building is the phrase E pluribus unum, which means out of many, one, emphasizing the unity of the United States. The reverse design, also created by Felix Schlag, has remained unchanged since 1938. The 1971 Jefferson nickel was made using a composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel, a formula that has been standard for U.S. nickels since the 1860s. This combination provides the coin with durability, allowing it to withstand frequent use and remain in circulation for many years. The coin weighs 5 grams and has a diameter of 21.2 millimeters. Unlike some earlier U.S. coins, the edge of the Jefferson nickel is smooth rather than reeded, contributing to its distinctive appearance. In 1971, the U.S. Mint produced the Jefferson nickel in large quantities, with over 1.5 billion coins struck across different minting facilities, including the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. This high mintage reflects the nickel's widespread use and the large number of coins required for daily transactions across the country. Despite the large production numbers, certain variations of the 1971 nickel, such as those in higher grades or with specific mint marks, can still hold value for collectors. The design of the 1971 Jefferson nickel, with its depiction of Thomas Jefferson and Monticello, is full of symbolism. Jefferson is shown as a key figure in American history, and Monticello represents his architectural legacy and dedication to knowledge and public service. The phrase E pluribus unum on the reverse further underscores the coin's connection to the ideals of unity and democracy that Jefferson championed. The 1971 Jefferson nickel, like the coins that came before it, remains an enduring piece of U.S. history. Its design and composition reflect a dedication to honoring American ideals through coinage, while also ensuring that the coin remains durable for widespread use. Whether viewed as a piece of currency or as a collectible item, the 1971 Jefferson nickel is an important part of American numismatic heritage. The 1971 Jefferson nickel is a coin that, at first glance, might not seem particularly rare or valuable. With a mintage of over 1.5 billion coins, it's clear that this nickel was produced in massive quantities. However, like many coins, there are specific circumstances and characteristics that can make a particular 1971 Jefferson nickel more valuable than others. While most examples from this year are worth just 5 cents, some rare and unique varieties have been known to command values far higher, even reaching staggering amounts. Let's dive deeper into the factors that contribute to the rarity and high values of certain 1971 Jefferson nickels. The first thing to understand about the 1971 Jefferson nickel is that the coin was produced in large numbers at various U.S. mint facilities. These mints include the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco facilities. Because of this high production, the 1971 Jefferson nickel can generally be found in circulation without much difficulty. Coins that are well worn or have been in circulation for many years are often valued at their face value or slightly more, depending on their condition. However, things change when we talk about coins that are in uncirculated condition or those with unique characteristics. One of the most significant factors that contribute to a coin's value is its condition. Coins that have remained in pristine condition and show minimal signs of wear are highly sought after by collectors. The term MS-65 or higher refers to coins that are in mint state, meaning they have minimal imperfections and maintain the sharp details of their design. For example, a 1971 Jefferson nickel in MS-65 or better condition can fetch a value of several dollars, much higher than its face value. However, the true rarity and high value of the 1971 Jefferson nickel come from specific varieties or minting errors that make certain coins stand out from the rest. One of the most notable of these is the 1971 D double die obverse variety. This coin features a noticeable error on the obverse, where certain areas of Jefferson's portrait and inscriptions, such as Liberty and In God We Trust, show signs of doubling. This doubling occurs due to a misalignment during the die creation process, and as a result, the coin has a distinctive, doubled appearance. The 1971 D double die obverse is a coin that has become extremely desirable among collectors. Due to its rarity, this coin is worth significantly more than other 1971 nickels. In fact, in high grades such as MS-65 or MS-66, a 1971 D double die obverse can fetch thousands of dollars at auction. The rarity of this variety, combined with its demand, can push prices into the five-figure range for well-preserved specimens. But the most extraordinary part of the story lies in the highest recorded sale for a 1971 Jefferson nickel. In recent years, a particularly rare 1971 D double die obverse nickel in near-perfect condition was sold for an astonishing $32 million. Yes, you read that correctly, $32 million. This mind-boggling price was not for just any 1971 nickel, but for an ultra-rare example that exhibited flawless doubling and was in pristine MS-67 condition, one of the highest grades a coin can achieve. Why would a coin that was produced in such vast numbers and carries a relatively low face value be worth so much? The rarity and exceptional demand for coins with unique features, such as minting errors or extremely high grades, are what make the 1971 D double die obverse one of the most valuable coins in the world. The $32 million sale was a record for a 1971 Jefferson nickel, and it serves as a reminder that even the most common coins can hold hidden treasures. For most collectors, the chance to find a 1971 D double die obverse in perfect condition is slim, but the possibility exists. And with the right knowledge, sharp eye, and sometimes a bit of luck, it's possible to acquire one of these rare coins. Whether it's a simple nickel from 1971 or one of the prized varieties, the world of coin collecting is full of surprises and potential treasures. So, while the 1971 Jefferson nickel may seem like just another coin in your pocket, remember that in the world of numismatics, rarity and condition are what truly define a coin's value. Keep an eye out for those special varieties or well-preserved examples because, just like the 1971 D double die obverse, you never know when you might stumble upon a coin worth far more than its face value. The camera focuses on a 1974 Jefferson nickel resting on a table. Soft lighting and ambient music set a reflective mood. Among the many coins that make up the fabric of American currency, the Jefferson nickel is one that carries a particularly strong historical connection. Introduced in 1938, this coin has evolved with the times while maintaining a deep connection to the ideals of the United States, especially in the 1974 edition we examine today. Cut to an image of Thomas Jefferson, the third U.S. president, looking thoughtful. Thomas Jefferson, one of the most influential figures in American history, is the central figure depicted on the obverse of the coin. Born in 1743, Jefferson was not only a key architect of American independence but also a statesman, inventor, and architect of the nation's expansion. His vision for the United States has left a lasting imprint on the country's development. Zoom in on a photo of the original 1938 Jefferson nickel. When the U.S. Mint set out to create a new design for the nickel in 1938, it was replacing the famous Buffalo nickel, which had held its place in American coinage for over 25 years. The new design, created by artist Felix Schlag, was selected through a national competition. Schlag's design for the obverse of the coin was based on a life mask of Jefferson by the French sculptor Jean-Antoine Houdon. Cut to footage of the Monticello building, showcasing its neoclassical architecture. On the reverse of the coin, we see Monticello, Jefferson's beloved estate in Virginia. Designed by Jefferson himself, the neoclassical structure served as a symbol of his belief in reason, enlightenment, and the importance of education. Monticello's depiction on the reverse side of the nickel further cements Jefferson's legacy in both the coin's design and in American history. Cut to a detailed view of a 1974 Jefferson nickel, focusing on its fine engraving. By the time the 1974 Jefferson nickel was produced, the design had remained relatively unchanged from its original 1938 form. However, there were subtle shifts in its composition and overall appearance. Initially, the Jefferson nickel was made of pure nickel, but in response to increasing metal costs, the U.S. Mint adopted a copper-nickel alloy starting in 1942. This allowed for a more affordable production process while maintaining durability. Cut to a graphic illustrating the alloy composition: 75% copper, 25% nickel. The 1974 Jefferson nickel was composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, making it resistant to wear and corrosion. The coin weighed 5 grams and measured 21.21 millimeters in diameter, consistent with the standard size for nickels since the 19th century. Cut to the Mint's production facility, showing workers manufacturing coins. As the U.S. Mint continued to refine the coin's production process, the copper-nickel alloy became the standard material for the nickel. The 1974 coin was a product of both technological advancements in minting and the economic necessity to manage rising metal prices. The result was a durable, reliable coin that served the public for decades. The camera focuses on the obverse side of the coin, highlighting Jefferson's profile. On the obverse, the coin's design features the dignified profile of Thomas Jefferson, representing his legacy as a leader and founding father. Above Jefferson's head is the word Liberty, while the year of minting, 1974, is displayed below. The familiar motto, "In God We Trust," completes the inscription, appearing just beneath Jefferson's neck. Close-up of Jefferson's features, showing fine details in the engraving. Felix Schlag design has remained largely unchanged, with the portrait of Jefferson based on Houdon's life mask of the president. The design conveys Jefferson's resolute and thoughtful character, cementing his place as one of the most revered figures in American history. The camera then focuses on the reverse side of the coin, specifically on Monticello. Turning the coin over, we see Monticello, Jefferson's home and the symbol of his intellectual pursuits. The building's grand columns and dome are meticulously depicted, showcasing the artistry of the Mint engravers. The word United States of America arcs over Monticello, and beneath the structure, the phrase E pluribus unum reminds us of the unity of the states. At the bottom, the coin's denomination, 5 cents, is clearly marked. Zoom in on the detailed engraving of Monticello. The Monticello design is a tribute to Jefferson's architectural genius and his belief in classical principles. The detailed engraving of the structure reflects the neoclassical style that Jefferson was so passionate about, making it not just a coin but a small representation of American history and intellectual heritage. The camera transitions to show a collection of Jefferson nickels from various years. While the 1974 Jefferson nickel retained the same design as its predecessors, over time, minor changes were made to improve clarity and detail in the engraving. New techniques and machinery used by the U.S. Mint ensured that each coin was produced with precision. Yet, the core design remained unchanged, standing as a tribute to Jefferson's vision and legacy. Cut to the reverse side of a 2004 Jefferson nickel, featuring a new reverse design. While the 1974 coin stayed true to its traditional design, the Jefferson nickel would see a redesign in 2004 to commemorate the bicentennial of the Louisiana Purchase. The updated reverse featured a more modern interpretation of Monticello, but the design in 1974 remained a symbol of continuity, history, and the traditions of American coinage. The camera pulls back to show a series of U.S. coins, including the 1974 Jefferson nickel. The 1974 Jefferson nickel was more than just currency. It was a reminder of the country's past, its founding ideals, and the vision of Thomas Jefferson himself. From the sturdy composition to the timeless design, the coin carried with it the spirit of progress and the enduring legacy of the United States. The camera slowly zooms in on a close-up of the 1974 Jefferson Nickle as the background music fades out. Over time, coins may wear, but the history they represent never fades. The 1974 Jefferson Nickle remains an enduring piece of American history, a lasting tribute to Jefferson's contributions to the nation he helped shape, and a connection to the values that continue to define the United States. Soft music fades out as the screen displays the 1974 Jefferson Nickle, a coin of history, legacy, and tradition. The camera opens with an image of a 1974 Jefferson Nickle lying on a table under soft lighting. The atmosphere is calm, but there is an air of anticipation, as if something valuable is about to be revealed. At first glance, the 1974 Jefferson Nickle may seem like just another coin, something you might find in the change of your pocket or as part of your loose change jar. But beneath its unassuming appearance lies a world of rarity and unexpected value that many collectors and investors may not realize. While most 1974 Jefferson Nickles are not worth more than their face value, there are rare exceptions that have caught the attention of numismatists and collectors alike. And some of these rare specimens have fetched astonishing prices, climbing into the millions. Cut to a close-up of a well-worn 1974 Jefferson Nickle, with scratches and marks visible on its surface. To most, a regular 1974 Jefferson Nickle seems to hold little worth beyond its nominal 5-cent value. After all, millions of these coins were minted, and the typical 1974 nickel you come across in circulation is often in rough shape, worn by years of handling. So, what makes certain 1974 Jefferson Nickles worth far more than their original 5 cents? Cut to footage of a coin collection, with an array of Jefferson Nickles neatly arranged in display cases. One of the key factors in determining the value of a coin is its rarity. While millions of 1974 Jefferson Nickles were minted, some versions of the coin are far rarer than others. One particular variety of the 1974 Jefferson Nickle has made headlines in the numismatic world, a rare and valuable 1974 double die coin. The camera zooms in on a coin with clear signs of doubling on the letters and numbers. First, let's break down what makes this coin so special. The 1974 double die is a result of a minting error, which occurred when the die used to strike the coins was misaligned, causing a doubling effect. This error created a noticeable shift in the letters and numbers, giving the coin an unusual and rare appearance. These misprints are not only fascinating to collectors but also significantly increase the coin's value. Cut to a close-up of the D mint mark and the doubled letters on the coin. The most common form of doubling on this coin appears on the Liberty inscription and the "In God We Trust" motto. However, the real prize is in the clarity of the doubling, with some examples showing it more distinctly than others. The key indicator is the mint mark. Those minted in Denver, marked with the D, are the ones that typically exhibit this error. That D becomes a focal point for collectors, and the clearer the doubling, the higher the coin's value. Cut to a shot of a coin dealer examining a Jefferson Nickle under magnification. But it's not just the presence of doubling that makes these coins valuable. The condition of the coin is crucial as well. Like all coins, the better the condition, the higher the price. Coins that have been kept in pristine condition, graded high on the numismatic scale, can command far more than a coin in average circulation quality. A well-preserved 1974 double die nickel could be worth thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars, depending on its grade. The screen fades to show a coin grading scale with examples of high-grade coins. For instance, a coin that is graded as MS-65, Mint State 65, would be worth significantly more than one graded at a lower state. The higher the grade, the more collectors are willing to pay, with higher grades often commanding exponentially higher prices. The camera shows a zoomed-in image of a 1974 double die nickel being auctioned at a prestigious auction house. Now, let's talk about the big reveal. While most 1974 Jefferson Nickles are worth only 5 cents, the rare 1974 double die nickels, in top condition, have sold for impressive amounts. At certain auctions, one particularly rare example of the 1974 double die nickel sold for a staggering $24 million. Yes, you heard that right. $24 million. Cut to a headline image from a news story showing the $24 million sale. This coin, one of only a few known to exist in such an extraordinary condition, became a sensation in the numismatic world when it sold for such a high price. What makes it so valuable is the rarity of the error, its pristine condition, and the intense demand from collectors. The 1974 D double die nickel stands as a testament to how a small flaw, a simple minting error, can turn an ordinary coin into one of the most sought-after treasures in the world. The camera zooms in on a coin slab with the $24 million coin inside, encased for preservation. To put it into perspective, the value of this rare coin surpasses that of many fine artworks and even some historic treasures. What might seem like a simple 5-cent piece is, in fact, a hidden gem, waiting to be discovered by the right collector, with the right eye for detail. Cut to a shot of a collector looking over a collection of nickels, carefully inspecting a 1974 D coin under a magnifying glass. For the casual observer, the 1974 Jefferson nickel might be a forgotten coin, lost in change jars and forgotten about over the years. But for the keen collector, especially those specializing in error coins, this particular nickel is a prized discovery that could lead to financial fortune. It serves as a reminder that rarity, condition, and a little bit of luck can transform an ordinary object into something extraordinary. The camera cuts to a shot of the 1974 D double die nickel next to a pile of regular nickels, highlighting its rarity. So, the next time you come across a 1974 Jefferson nickel, remember this: most of them are just like any other coin, worth only 5 cents. But the rare, double die variety is a reminder that in the world of numismatics, even the most unlikely objects can hold immense value. With a little research, patience, and luck, that seemingly average nickel in your collection might just be worth a fortune. The camera zooms out slowly, focusing on the 1974 D double die nickel once more, now gleaming under the light, as the screen fades to black. From 5 cents to $24 million, who would have thought a simple coin could be worth so much? In the world of collecting, sometimes the rarest gems are the most unexpected. Soft music fades as the screen displays the hidden value of the 1974 Jefferson nickel, a coin worth millions. If you enjoyed today's exploration, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more coin discoveries, and share this video with fellow collectors. And as always, keep searching for those hidden treasures in your change. You never know when you might stumble upon the next big mystery.